The book of Job, chapter 12, verse 7. But ask now the beasts, and they shall teach thee, and the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee, or speak to the earth, and it shall teach thee, and the fishes of the sea shall declare unto thee. I'm going to give all honor, all praise, and glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. As always, peace, blessings, and salutations unto those for that tabernacle of David that are scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. You know, and everything is spiritual. You know, that little montage that you just saw, and we believe that these were subtle signals. All right, the Most High, he can give us hints and tokens, you know, even through his own nature, his own creation, you know, through nature. And when we've seen, you know, different accounts in the scriptures, you know, where the Lord give, you know, subtle signals to his prophets, you know, through various creatures, you know, like you could think about that donkey that was it Balaam? You know, Balaam was on a donkey, and he didn't see the angel that was standing there with a sword in his hand, and he was trying to worry about why the donkey wouldn't go through, and he kept trying to hit the donkey. The donkey wouldn't budge, and then eventually, you know, the donkey stood up, and you know, he ended up you know, kind of getting hurt when he did that, but he started speaking to him. All right, he because he saw that angel. You know, so the Lord can do things like that, man. You know, he can send tokens and you know, different type of omens, and use his own creation to do so. You know, the doves. You know, he had to was it during the time of Noah, where he to see if the water had leveled. You know, he had sent that dove out. Let me see if I can find that account. It is Genesis 8 and verse 6. It says, and it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and he sent forth a raven, which went forth to Slakia. So it wasn't a dove, it was a raven. No, Slakia, no, he sent the raven first, and we're going to get to it. It says, and he sent forth a raven which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth. Also he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her in unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark, and the dove came in to him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. So the Lord can show subtle signals of, you know, different things occurring, you know, through his creation. You know, the beasts of the field, the fowls of the air, he can do that. So that little montage is definitely spiritual, and this is in a bad sense, all right? Because you saw the object, all right, that each species was attacking and trying to pull down, right? You see what you saw what that was. These all point to bad omens, all right, that will eventually befall the object at hand, or the people, the said people that's in total control, that's in rule. You know, this is all an indicator that the son of perdition is going to go into perdition. Because usually crows, that's usually not, they usually, I mean, some of them, you know, they say that there's good signs about them, but there's also bad signs. But usually it's a negative association. You know, sometimes it can represent misfortune, and sometimes it can represent death. But either way, you know, nothing is a coincidence. All right. Yeah, you had the ravens that fed Elijah. You know, so the Lord, he can do things with his creation. All right. And between this little montage that y'all just saw, and then, you know, over the past few years, you've had lightning strikes strike on Washington. You know, like the Washington Monument got hit quite a few times. The Statue of Liberty been hit. We saw this image of a eagle with a crow flying on his back. You know, and, you know, brothers did several lessons as well on that. You know, that was another signal. You know, those that are spiritual can, you know, read stuff like that. And it's not in a sense of trying to be like a you know, a witch, or which the scriptures tell you to, you know, don't seek after, you know, divinations, and, you know, don't go that route. All right. But you can read certain things that the Lord communicates in very subtle tokens. All right. Because that's how the Lord can move. But I thought about those. I thought about recently you had that replica of the Statue of Liberty down there in, was it Brazil? And the high winds pretty much, you know, knocked it off its feet. You know? So all these are different signs, indicators, tokens, you know, subtle tokens that, you know, something major is gonna, you know, come. All right. And you know, hey, we're just the messengers. Okay. But what you is the Lord's nature? You're gonna throw the anti-SIM card at nature now? So I guess a cat is anti-SIM. Crows are now anti-SIM. The dogs are now anti-SIM. So nature itself is just anti-SIM. What you gonna do about it, man? You know, is that why you behind Trump and his shenanigans, trying to basically bring down the earth? Because that's ultimately, he's on these devils are on a kamikaze mission right now. If we can't rule the entire planet and then some, you know, we can't control everything, and we can't do what we want to do, then we'll just bring the world down with us. So the Lord is showing us these hints that he's about sick and tired of these people, man. Okay. But anyway, let me grab this. I'm not gonna make this long, but I had to do a quick video on it. 2nd Ezra 9, and I'll start at verse 6, and it says, I'll start at 5. It says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. And he will give us the tokens. He will show us the signs that we're at the end, right? And at the end, who will be ruling? Whose world would it be at the end? Right? You go to 2nd Ezra, let's take a step back. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 6, and then we'll go back to 9. 2nd Ezra 6, and I'll start at 7. It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? And when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, which that was all a sign in itself, that whole birth process, starting from when they were both in the womb, how they were struggling and fighting with each other in the womb. They were going to be fighting throughout their entire existence for millenniums. And still to this very day, Jake's still trying to figure it out. This goes far deep. Okay? This goes way back. The Lord set that dynamic between us. Going back to the garden, I will put enmity between thee and thy seed and the woman. That's what was written. So it has to play out. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So while we're at the end of Esau's world, we're going to be shown all these different tokens and signs and wonders. All right, and those that have discernment will be able to, interpret. Okay. So going back to 2nd Ezra 9, and verse 5, it says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifesting. Right now, with the end of Esau's world is manifesting. That's why you see all this chaos, all this conflict, all this division, all this moral decay, all this deterioration of ecosystems. This is the end is manifesting. All these wars on the horizon. All right, the MOT to the B on the horizon. This new infrastructure, and he's trying to build, but like the Lord already said, he's going to throw down. He exalts himself as an eagle. He has the attitude, who can bring me down to the ground? The Lord said he's going to do it, and he's showing little signals, hints that he's going to do it. All right. It says, even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs, omens, tokens. All right. So this is what we're going to continue to see. So we got the fowls of the air. We got the beasts. Then also the Lord warned us that he will show signs in the heavens too. All right, the blood moons, the solar eclipses, constant chariot sightings. And the scriptures tell us not to be dismayed at the signs of heaven, because the heathens are. We just see it as, hey, the Lord is he's getting ready to do something. So, we take these in. And we consider the ways of the Heavenly Father, YAHAWASHI, man. His scriptures say his ways are not our ways. So we take that into heart, man. But there's got to be something where the Lord is using his species to keep attacking that symbol. Something's going on. The Lord is not happy with these people, man. But they think in their eyes that they're going to win. They're going to somehow just subdue the entire planet to themselves. And it's not going to pan out too well. Okay. The Lord said he would have war with these people from generation to generation forever. So when the Lord have spoken it, you better believe it is what it is. All right. So, I'm not going to make this too long, but I had to, do a quick lesson on this. Me and the brothers was discussing these things, and there's going to be more. All right. Every year the Lord shows, something significant. All right. Birds and, lightning strikes, all type of stuff. So just consider these things and, meditate and give praise, honor, and glory where it's due. All right. Pray for mercy and continue to watch. You know, scriptures say watch as well as pray. So, you know, Lord willing, Yahweh edified, give all honor, all praise, and glory to YAHAWASHI. To the next one, Shalom.